Hi, third grade. Today we are going to finish up Unit 2, Week 1 with our Day 5 lesson. So let's get started. Repeat after me. A apple a, E ed I itch O octopus U up CH chin ch, TCH catch ch, W wind w, WH whistle w, D dog d. And let's don't forget this one that we learned. A wash A squash Excellent. Okay, now we are going to look at these words that I put up here. You'll notice that every word has a suffix. And what we're going to do is practice marking these words. So remember, when you have a word with a suffix, you underline the base word, circle the suffix. So this first word, what's my base word? Say it. Pink, right. Suffix, ish, ish. Good. So when we read the word, we're going to go like this. Base word, pink. Whole word, pinkish. Got it? Let's move over here. What's my base word? Quick. What's my suffix? en, n, right? Base word, quick. Whole word, quicken. Very good. This word, what's my base word? Act, right. What's my suffix? ive, iv. Base word, act. Whole word, active. Good job. Try this one. Base word, dust, right. Suffix, ye. Base word, dust. Whole word, dusty. Okay, come over here. Base word, ship. Suffix, ment, meant. So base word is ship, whole word, shipment. Over here, base word, fond, right? If you're fond of something, you like it. What about the suffix? ness, ness. So base word, fond, whole word, fondness. Good. Couple more. Base word, cost. Suffix, ly, ly. Base word, cost. Whole word, costly. Over here, what is the base word? 6. We know that number word, right? What is the suffix? ty, t. So base word, 6. Whole word, 6t. Last one. Base word, bend. Suffix, able, able, which always sounds like able. You'll hear in a second. Base word, bend. Whole word, bendable. Bendable. Very good. Okay, third grade, for your next activity, you will need, if you're at home, a blank piece of paper and a pencil. So pause the video and grab those things and press play so you're ready to hear the directions. Okay, hopefully you have your materials. Behind me on this board, I have several base words. So actually, let's just read them together. When I point, say it with me. Ready? Go. Bend, act, lunch, bold, cold, send, old, chill, boss, wild, tall, raft, jump, fluff, luck, quick, brush, crunch. Very good. Now, over here on this side, you have our suffixes that we have learned in third grade. Remember, we have vowel suffixes over here. I put them up so you could see them. Vowel suffixes are suffixes that begin with a vowel. And you have your consonant suffixes over here. They begin with a consonant. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take any one of these base words that you want. So if I want the word raft, could I use raftness? Is that a word? No. Raftment? No. Rafts? Yes. So on my piece of paper, I'm going to create a new word and write down the base word with the suffix. Okay? Now, are there any other ones? Rafted? It might be we rafted down the river, but here's my advice. If you're not sure if it's a real word in the English language, do the ones that you are sure of. Okay, so since I'm not sure, I'd have to look up if rafted is even a real word. I'm going to go on to a new base word and do brush. Can I do brushed? ED? Sure. Yesterday I brushed my hair. So, do you get the idea? All right, here's what I would do. Pause the screen in a moment when I'm done and set a timer at home for 5 to 10 minutes and see how many words you can make with a base word attached with a suffix on the end. Okay? When you're done, hit play and we'll just go over maybe a few together. All right, good luck. Okay, if you aren't quite done, remember, pause the video and only hit play when you've got a lot of words. There are so many that you could write. So I'll just go with bend. First, what's a suffix we can add to bend? How about bending, right? That's a word. Act. Can you do active? IVE? Sure. Lunch. Can you make it plural by saying lunch, lunches? Try this row. Bold. Can you boldly do something if you're being brave? Sure. Cold. Could it be colder tomorrow than it is today? Send. How about sending? Old. Could someone be the oldest in your family? EST. Chill. How about, I could think of chilling. I am chilling something in the refrigerator. Boss. I'll make it plural and do bosses. That needs an ES. How about wild? Well, could you do something wildly? Tall. How about taller? We already did rafts. That was my example. I just made it plural by adding an S. Rafts. Jump. Could you do jumped? ED in the past. Fluff. This one might have been tricky. Did you use fluff as your base word? You could describe something by putting a Y, fluffy. How about luck? Could you put a Y on that one too? Lucky? Yeah. How about quick? Quickness. Quickness is a word if you're using a lot of quickness. Brush. I did that one before. I think I picked brushed, ED, but could you do brushes? And crunch. Crunching. Could you be crunching on something with your teeth? Absolutely. Hope that activity was exciting. Maybe you came up with different ones. There are so many possibilities you could have come up with for that. Great work. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is dictation composition book. So if you have your composition book at home, go ahead and open to page 5 and write today's date up at the top. This is not a checkup. So that means whenever I dictate a sound or a word or a sentence, you're going to pause the video, try it on your own, and then press play to check. And I will have the right answer up here for you to practice. Okay, so if you don't have your composition book and you can't turn to page 5, you're going to get a plain sheet of paper out and a pencil so that you can practice that way. All right? The first sound that I want you to write, so if you have your book, you're up at the top next to the number 1. Okay? These are tricky, but this is a good practice. The first sound is D. Say it. D. Be careful. There are 2 things you should be writing for D. Try it. Okay, check behind me. The obvious one is D, dogged. But remember, this suffix ed, sometimes when it's attached to the end of a base word, it sounds like d. Think of the word spelled, right? Spelled. Ed makes that d sound there. Okay, let's try number 2. Move across to number 2. Your next sound is t. Say it. All right, there are 2 for this one as well. See if you can get both for t. Okay, check behind me again. T, t is the obvious one, right? T topped. But remember, sometimes this ed suffix can also sound like t when it's at the end of a base word. Think of this example. Pressed. I pressed the button. Hear how it sounds like t, pressed, even though it's ed. All right, scooch over to number 3. Try this sound. Ready? Z. Say it. Z. There are 2 letters or 2 things associated with z. Ready? Try. Okay, behind me, Z, zebra, Z is obvious. But sometimes when this S is a suffix at the end, like in the word bugs, it sounds like a Z as well. All right, one more. I made a 4th space up there. Move over to number 4, and your next sound is ch. Say it. Ch. Go ahead and write those sounds. Okay, hopefully we've been doing this one a lot. So CH, chin, ch, and TCH, catch, ch. Did you get it? All right. Now we're going to do some review words. Now, when we write the review word, we'll tap it, you'll spell it, and then you'll mark it. Are you ready? Remember to be marking. Is it a closed syllable or closed syllable exception? All right. Your first review word is splash. Say it. Splash. S-p-l-a-sh. Splash. Pause it, write it, mark it. Go. All right, check behind me to see how you did. Did you get sp-l? It's a 3-letter blend. Did you mark that? S-P-L. Good. A is our short vowel. Did you put a brief? And it ends with the digraph SH. Did you underline your digraph that makes one sound? It is a closed syllable. Great. Okay, I'm staying in the same row, and my next review word is crunch. Say it. Crunch. I crunch on celery when I eat it. K-r-a-n-ch. Crunch. Go ahead. Okay, let's see how you did. Another blend at the beginning. Did you get it? It was C-R, not K-R for crunch. Okay, short vowel U with a brief. And then look at the end. We have a digraph blend. Hopefully you didn't just put crutch. It's crunch. So N-C-H. And this is a closed syllable. Scooch over. Number 3, most. Say it. Most. Most of you will be able to get this one just fine. Try it. Okay. M-O-S-T. Did you spell it right? Okay, let's check your markings. O-S-T, post, ost, has to be boxed in. That's a closed syllable exception because the one vowel, even though it's closed in by this blend at the end, it's a long vowel instead of short. So make sure you put that macron above the O. Last review word is squash. Say it, squash. Sometimes when you go to a pumpkin farm, you can see some squash grown there as well. Squash. Squ. Ah, be careful. Sh. Squash. Okay, let's see how you did. Did you get SQU? That's a blend at the beginning. Now, I have a bad feeling some of you might have put O. But remember, when it follows a QU, what letter sounds like an O? Right, A. So I put the symbol up above there that it sounds like ah, and it ends with our digraph sh. This, boys and girls, is still a closed syllable, so hopefully you marked it like that at home. All right, let's go on to some current words. Every word that I'm about to give you has a base word and a suffix, so listen very closely. You are only going to underline the base word, circle the suffix like we've been practicing. You don't have to make any other markings, okay? So let's try the first one. The word is twins. Say it. Twins. T-w-i-n. Twin. Add that suffix last. Go ahead and try. Okay, how did you do? T-W-I-N. It's not a Z, it's an S. Remember from up here, sometimes our S sounds like a Z when it's attached to the end of a word. All right, let's try the next one. This one, try it. Dresses, say it. Dresses. The girls picked fancy dresses to wear to prom. Dresses. Careful. It's not J. It's S. Is. Try it. Okay. Dress is D-R-E-S-S. And then to make it plural, you add the suffix ES and circle it. Let's try another one. The next one is holding. Say it. Holding. The mother was holding her baby. Old, hold, ing. Try. How'd you do with hold, the base word? H-O-L-D, right? And then ing is your suffix, holding. The last word that we're going to mark is kicker. Say it. Kicker. The kicker on the team kicked the ball very far. Kicker. K-I-K. Kick-er. Go ahead. All right, maybe some of you struggled with the first sound, knowing if it's a C or a K. It is a K. So, K-I, be careful. When it follows a short vowel like K, you use the CK at the end of a base word, right? K-I-C-K, and then your suffix is ER. Very good. All right, the next thing we're going to do is move down to where it says sound-alike words. These are our homophones we've been practicing. And the first homophone that I want you to write is son. Now listen to my sentence so you know which one I'm talking about. His son turned 8 years old. His son turned 8 years old. Go ahead and write it. Remember, we never mark trick words or sound-alike words, okay? Did you know that son is S-O-N in that sentence? His son turned 8 years old. Right, we're talking about, remember our signal for this word? A child who's a boy, a male child, okay? Someone's child. Next one is, be careful, sum. When I added two numbers together, my sum was 100. Which sum is in that sentence? Write it down. Check behind me. Sum. Remember that signal? Make a plus sign. S-U-M, sum. If you were in the classroom today, you could use all of the tools hanging around the room or in your student notebook too. So keep that in mind. If you're at home, you have an extra challenge. All right, the next section is for trick words. The first trick word I want you to write is should. You should know this word by now. Go ahead and write it. Okay, check behind me and spell it with me. Ready? Go. S-H-O-U-L-D, should. The last trick word is have. I have so many things to do tonight. Have. Go ahead. All right, look behind me. Check yours and let's spell it. Go. H-A-V-E, have. Awesome. Now I'm going to erase this board and get you one sentence to practice. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm going to dictate the sentence first, and then you can write it down and check back when you're ready. The sentence is, the van was badly dented in the crash. I'll say it again. Ready? The van was badly dented in the crash. Go ahead and try it. The van was badly dented in the crash. Check back when you're ready. Okay, check behind me. Capital letter, do you have it for the? Check van, V-A-N. Was, we should know this trick word, hopefully. Look at badly. Did you check your B's and D's on this one? That could be bad. Bad is your base word. L-Y, remember, is a suffix that we're practicing in this unit. Badly. Check the next word. Dented. Dent. And then ed, not id. There's no suffix that's id. In should be fine. The should be fine. And I'm really hoping crash, as long as you remember CR for the beginning blend. Do you have punctuation at the end? Hopefully. And the last thing I'll ask you to do is scoop your sentence, if you haven't already, into some meaningful phrases. If I were reading this sentence, I think the most natural way to read it is, the van was badly dented in the crash. I like that. So here, watch me scoop. The van was badly dented in the crash. I chose to do 3 scoops. And sometimes there are more than one correct answers for scooping, but hopefully yours still reads naturally. Well, 3rd grade, that's all I have for you today. Thanks so much for joining me. See you next time.